Welcome to the Redvee TV instant fan reaction supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2022 season as we reflect on Saints' 12 points to 10 win over Warrington here at the Halliwell Jones this evening. Kev, first of all, how's the heart rate after that last couple of minutes?
Settling down a little bit now. It was not a good second half, not a good first half. I think we got away with one there tonight. We weren't great in all aspects of the game, but I think defensively second half we've been pretty resolute, especially those last 5-10 minutes. Wonder tackle by Makinson's got us the 2 points.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, we start with that first half. Our completion rate was absolutely terrible. I think there were so many knock-ons, so many errors. Just in the it just looked like nothing was sticking. And once you do that, you put yourself under pressure, and all of a sudden it keeps. And I'm not going to keep on with this line, but it keeps Warrington in a game.
It does, yeah. And I think the good thing for us is they were equally as poor with the ball. They put it down a lot as well. I asked me mate at half time, I said, how many sets have we not completed? I think it was 11 sets in a half of rugby to not complete, which that's not our standards. I don't think Christian Wolf will be too happy with that. But is there a bit of the semi-final hangover? Is there a bit of fatigue? Is there a bit of, we know we're going to get a couple of days off now? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought Parsi and LMS changed the dynamic of the game when they came on. I thought Parsi was absolutely outstanding. I know Jack Wellesby's got the sky man of the match, but for me I thought Parsi was one of our best players. I thought Matty Lees had a good game down the middle as well. Big error on the third tackle right in front of us, that could have sealed the game. But yeah, it was gritty, wasn't it? Awful game of rugby to watch. I mean, when we went to Toulouse and got beat, at least it was a good game of rugby. And you come here, you watch an awful game of rugby. But we've come away with the 2 points, and hopefully we don't have to see them and their fans again this season.
That's it. Listen, we're doing it tough half-back wise at the moment. No Lewis Dodd, and Ben Davies is in there doing what I'm going to call a bit of a basic job where he's just getting the ball and putting it on. How can you see that changing when we get the other side of this enforced week's break?
Well, based on that pass that he put out for our second try, I put Iggy Parsi in at 7. What an absolute world-class pass that was. But yeah, I mean, on Ben Davies, when we went to Castleford and watched him there, I thought he had a really solid game. He was a leader, he was kicking it, he kind of did most of the work. Mossy kind of was second fiddle to him, but he's playing a second fiddle to Johnny, and Johnny's one of the best half-backs in the world. In answer to your question, I genuinely believe that Wellesby will go in at 7, and I think Opera will go in at 1. But that said, I think Johnny's got to be able to go in and defend at 6. I can't see Opera being as dynamic, getting into that line in defence, and that communication, that kind of fitness, being able to do that for too long. So yeah, I think as long as Opera comes through, I believe he's playing in the reserves a week on Wednesday for half a game. So if he comes through that, hopefully he goes in at 1. We'll get Regan back and gives us a bit of a different dynamic, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Listen, our first try, a push at the scrum.
Yeah. When
Warrington have got the ball, Walmsley goes through and dots down possibly one of the easiest tries he's going to score.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before?
I mean, normally when you push at the scrum and the ball comes out that loose, it's normally penalised, because I don't think referees know how to control like the aftermath and how to restart the game. But it was a really bizarre incident, because I actually didn't see the try live. I think I was putting my drink down on the floor because it was their scrum. I was fully expecting them to come out of yards, and then everyone started shouting like, "What's happened?" I watched it on the replay, and just a very, very bizarre try. But look, you've got to have the nous to go, come on, let's push at this scrum, and I'll just be mindful that the ball might come out, and he has done. He's played to the game, he's played to the whistle, and ball's popped out. He's put it down, and thank you very much. We'll take the 6-4 lead.
Exactly, you do, don't you? Second half, we're kept scoreless in the second half, and we've got to put a lot in defensively. I think one of the things that isn't highlighted as much in our defensive line is our kick chase, and I think that tonight we both had the good kick chase and the resolute defence. Our scramble defence obviously had to be good, because Warrington started throwing it about, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And on our kick chase and on our last tackle play, I thought we ran it in. Reminiscent of the Albrook days, where turn it over on their line, make them go 95 metres. We did that quite a bit tonight. I think the incident with Roby, where I think it was 3 times he tried to pin the ball down, he couldn't, and he kept getting up and moving on. But yeah, I think champion teams find a way to win games like that. If you're looking at other teams in and around, like your Huddersfields and your Hulls and Warrington, maybe they find a way to just grind it out, sorry, they can't find a way to grind it out. Either get punished by us or by Wigan, and we found a way to just grind out that result. I mean, not good for the heart rate, not good for the emotions, and just another thing on Ben Davies as well. When we brought down that left edge and the ball came out and he played and tried to go himself down that blind side, we had 9 on 3 out on that side, and a little bit of inexperience. I think in the first half he made a really good break as well, and he must have got the call because he tried to pop it off and George Williams just took it in between. And I think things like that, look, Jack Wellesby 2-3 years ago made some basic errors. He's just got man of the match and been absolutely outstanding, and rightfully so, applauded by all of our fans at the end. But it's, the experience will do him good, stand him in good stead. Like you said on the preview, he's not a scrum half, he's a centre or he's a back rower. He's a big lad, he's got a good skill set, and that's what you need in a back rower. So let's try and get him some game time later on in games, such as maybe your Toulouse and your Salfords and your Wakefields, and in his preferred position, and get his confidence back up, because I think he'll come off there tonight thinking a little bit dejected, but he's done a great job for us the last couple of weeks. For all we know, mate, he might be the answer for the rest of the season. But
yeah, well, that's it. Ben Davies' time will come. It will come. I think you're right. Once he slots into his more natural position, we'll see the best of Ben Davies. A word on Warrington. Listen, Dave, we always get accused of being biased. We are. I have no problem with admitting that. But tonight, I thought that they've obviously had to go a little bit Harlem Globetrotters and start throwing it out. We've not wrapped up their offload, and that's where they were killing us, the offload, and the fact that they were trying to stretch the play. And it's fair play to them for staying in the game when the position of 8th, you'd turn around and think, I mean, I predicted 14, Dave predicted 22 points in the preview show, and they've stuck at it. And to be honest, but for, as you say, covering tackle by Tommy Makinson, we're coming out of there dejected, and the weekend is, well, pretty much ruined, possibly not for Dave with Everton winning tonight.
No, you're right. I think that first score of the second half was always going to be huge. I think they had a game plan. Darryl Clark, he's obviously a good coach, isn't he? Warrington wouldn't have brought him in if he wasn't. He did a great job at Castleford. And they had a clear plan to try and get the centre and winger 2-on-1, because some of the width of the ball Ratchford was playing, and the first try came from exactly that. I think the second try, I think we've just talked about it on the way out of him, where there was a gap. He's backed himself with it. The ball's landed perfectly in his arms. He's gone down, and he's got George Williams on his shoulder, hasn't he? So, they're not an 8th place side based on that. It is their cup final. They always raise the game against us. They always have. And I thought I said to Stu in the second half, I said, am I having deja vu here? The way the game flowed was exactly the same as last year when Percival broke away, and I just kept saying, we're going to break away, we'll score that try. And if we did, I fancied us to go on and do 16-20. But we didn't. And I think the one thing we're learning a lot at the minute is just how good Lewis Dodd is. And when he's on that pitch, he's our leader, he's our linchpin, everything goes through him. He tells people where to go. And Lomax is letting him do that. Lomax is having to do it now, and no doubt he's going to get even better at running that show. But we're really missing Lewis Dodd. It just shows how good of a 7 he is and how good of a player he is. So, yeah,
I think that's fair enough. We'll wrap this up. We've got a week off next week. Who goes into that week off as your man of the match? As someone who's going to go in with a load of confidence and be looking forward to that Toulouse game in 2 weeks?
It's got to be Parsi, hasn't it? And possibly Percival, bar his error really late on, and that was really uncharacteristic. He doesn't make many, Percy, but I thought, I mean, I don't know why players keep running at him in that kind of give me the ball and Mark Percival's there, because he's absolutely smashing him.
He's just a big defender, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I think Wolf said that last week and in his presser this week, that Mark Percival is just an out and out solid rugby player, solid attacker, solid defender. He's putting some massive shots on. But for me, Iggy Paz was an absolute wrecking ball tonight when he came on. I thought he really made them work. He got us on the front foot. We went into the half time really confident and on the front foot. And I thought first 5-10 minutes of the second half was the same. We couldn't find the gaps on the edges and we couldn't quite break them down. And credit to them, they came to play. They came to stop us doing what we want to do. And look, just because we're St Helens and we won it 3 times in a row doesn't mean we turn up and get it all our own way. And they'll learn a lot from that tonight. I think that'll help them go into the break and be a few sore bodies of some big shots out there tonight, won't there? So, but yeah, I think the week off was really good.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not something we want, but it's something we've got to put up with.
Yeah.
Listen, we'd rather be in London next weekend watching Saints, but as you say, you can't win them all.
No,
you can't expect everything. But Kev, thanks very much.
No problem, pal. Good to
Appreciate
see
it. Just so you know, we're not actually behind bars, but we've been asked to find a bit of light by comments in our YouTube, and we're just in front of a fence, so it looks like we're in jail here, Kev. But I'm sure we'll release ourselves from Warrington soon anyway. Me and Dave will join you again probably before the Toulouse game, because we've got a Dave's not got a relegation battle to focus on, but I still have. But yeah, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you soon. See you later.